Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with my review of AEW Dynamite, the last tape Dynamite until the 13th. They're going to be alternating between live and tape Dynamites apparently because of the whole pandemic that's going on. But yes, next week's episode will be live. All this canned stuff that they filmed early, thankfully, is done and in the books. And we get to see what they are going to provide for us starting next week. But how was this show? It was bookended by two pretty good tournament matches. And then it had some bullshit in the middle. I wonder if you can guess what I thought was the bullshit. So, one, they had to start off a Darby and Cody video package talking about facing each other in the TNT title tournament. This is good stuff. Really enjoyed Darby getting some TV time, getting some promo time. Same with Cody. Still can't get over the tattoo, but it's his choice. It's just still, the tattoo's weird. But again, his choice. Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho on commentary, and Jericho cracking Schiavone up is now my favorite thing of 2020, at least on U.S. wrestling. Still going to have to dive into the archives of New Japan Pro Wrestling because, sweet Christ, I miss me some New Japan, and they have been, off of live shows way too long. Understandable, but still. But Schiavone's having a goddamn blast. Jericho's having a blast. There was one segment with Jericho that I did not care for, and I think you know what. Darby versus Cody, semifinal match, and this was goddamn good. They've always had good matches, that draw, and then another match that they had. This was really, really good. And Darby's a goddamn star. Darby is going to be like a mixture of Jeff Hardy and Sting as far as, drawing power for them. And yes, he's going to be the first Darby Allin. I'm just saying I can see the fans gravitating towards him like they gravitated towards both of those guys. Referee Aubrey and Brandy at ringside. She is going to find a way to get on this show one way or another. And her name from now on is Brandy Nepotism Rhodes until she proves that she actually has usefulness besides just being there as Cody's arm candy and hitting a weak-looking spear. I don't really see any reason to call her anything other than Brandy Nepotism Rhodes. Now, there were some good spots in this. I'm not going to go through everything minute detail on this, but there was one funny point where Darby dived at Cody, and he moved out of the way, and Darby slammed Brandy into a guardrail. And Cody's knee had been worked on by Darby earlier. Jericho says not only does he have a broken knee, he's got a broken wife. If Chris Jericho is not in the running for Best Wrestling Commentator of 2020, I would like to see other people's, choices, because he really is that goddamn good. And granted, I've been critical of Jericho in the past, and I'm still critical of some of the stuff Jericho does, but he has been goddamn amazing on commentary. It was a good back and forth. At one point, Britt hit Cody with a shoe, and he says, did Britt hit Cody with a shoe? God bless you, Britt. And Jericho, Pineapple Pete. I think it's Shug D in a pineapple shirt, but he's like, Pineapple Pete, I hate that guy. It's not the only time he referenced Pineapple Pete. Crossroads by Darby for 2, and then went for a figure 4 variation. Then Brandy comes back, selling her injuries with the bottle, barely, and, gets Cody a bottle of water, and that factors into a line a little bit later. He hits a Crossroads. Darby hits a coffin drop. Cody tries a coffin drop. Darby gets his knees up. Darby hits a coffin drop, but he tries to cover Cody, and Cody just manages to kind of lazily get him over and trap his arms 1, 2, 3. So he pins him in a crucifix, and they try that spot a little bit later with Dustin and Archer. So Cody wins, but Darby doesn't look weak. I was really hoping Darby was going to win. I knew Cody would win, but I was very disappointed that Darby didn't win. However, am I going to downgrade it? Because I'm not going to grade these empty shows. Maybe I'll start grading them a little bit next week when we go back to live shows. I don't know, but I'm just appreciative of the fact that we're getting wrestling on TV. I just want every wrestler and every staff member to be safe. That's really what I hope, and I hope the same for all of you guys. So, Jericho says, someone spiked that water like Ben Johnson. If you don't know Ben Johnson, Google it, kids. You'll figure out track star that obviously did performance-enhancing drugs. Scorpio Sky Piece. Talking about fitting into SCU and stuff like that, and then we will get another part next week, I think, or was this it? I think it's a part next week. This wasn't as good as last week's, but because last week's was a little more revealing, but maybe they were cut for time. MJF, and he says, I bet you're all feeling, feeling confused and everything. It's like you're in an Uber with a foreign driver that refuses to use the GPS. You feel lost. And he's recovered from his hangnail, talks about his doctor, his nail doctor being the best in his field. And he was all ready to get on a German-infested plane, but then he nicked his neck, and while shaving, and so it's just building up this whole thing where, yeah, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not saying whether he's best heel in wrestling or not is up for debate. I think he's up there, but he is goddamn great. He's a smarmy ass heel that you just want to punch in the face, and it works. And he says, I'm the only hope this company has left, and talking all this stuff. I'm Maxwell Jacob Freeman, and I'm better than you. It's great stuff. And then we get a guy named Musa versus Wardlow. Wardlow has terrible theme music, and Jericho talks about how handsome he is, says he could be on Big Muscle GQ. That nearly caused Shivani to absolutely lose it. And then they mentioned something about loincloths, which goes back to, I believe, something that it was in a match last week or something like that. What is it with all this talk about loincloths? And the airplane spin, whatever, F10 for 3, and we hear his horrible theme music again. We then get the Bubbly Bunch. I hate this. I hated this. Now, they were having this Manitoba melee or whatever the hell it was, where they were fighting over their phones. They were like hitting into their phones, and then you would have somebody react to it. They got people in this. They got Lou Ferrigno in it. They got Lou Ferrigno in it with a taser. I don't know why. I don't know why Lou Ferrigno is there. Guy's still in incredible shape, by the way. Kevin Smith, Gabriel Iglesias, and Vicky Guerrero. To be fair, Vicky said some questionable shit, so maybe it wasn't all that bad. So I didn't like this, though. It was dumb. It was dumb. And if I'm going to criticize WWE for doing stuff like this, I'm going to criticize AEW for doing the same thing. Weird to see Lou Ferrigno there, though. So we get the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy versus Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian, and Penelope Ford. Look, I like a few of the people in this match. And I want you to guess which two I don't like. I don't like Chuck Taylor, and I really don't like Orange Cassidy. Disclaimer, I know that he has fans, and that's fine. You can be a fan of Orange Cassidy. You know what? I'm not a fan of Orange Cassidy, and he ruined this match. Because of course he did. Because I don't like the gimmick. I didn't like the gimmick at first, but I was like, okay, maybe they'll give me a reason. They haven't given me a reason, and I'm done. I don't care if he's really good in the ring. He can have his fans. I'm not one of them. There were lots of weapons. Cassidy got hit by a chair. Good. It's the only proper use of Orange Cassidy on this program. And then Kip landed badly on a chair in the corner. Ouch, almost landed on his head. A ladder spot. We get a pile driver under the chair. Cassidy ruins things because, of course, he does. And then we get a weird pile driver by Taylor on the Havoc onto a bunch of chairs, and the Best Friends win. Cool, whatever. This match was shit. And I like Havoc. I'm not a fan of hardcore stuff, but I like Havoc. Britt with a woman named Reba, Reba, I believe. Turns out to be Rebel former Rebel from TNA. Good to see her on a mainstream program again. Talking about glasses and fat people and stuff like that, and photos, and picking on Shivani because like a photo op thing that they did. Shivani doesn't know why she was picked on. Britt Baker also at times has a personality of a wet blanket. Sometimes she gets a heel persona, sometimes she doesn't. Shawn Spears versus Baron Black. You always bet on Baron, except not here. Anna Jay, I guess, was out there at one point. Priscilla Kelly was also out there. Who very prominent woman on the indies. Young, talented, met her a couple times. Great. She is also married to Darby Allin. They are a perfect couple. In case either of them happens to be watching this, I've met them. They are great people. They're great individual talents. And it is great to see how much of a perfect couple they honestly are. And it's great to see them supporting each other. Hopefully we get to see Priscilla Kelly on AEW TV a little more to get a chance to show her talents. So, Anna Jay, I guess, was out there in the crowd, and Jericho says Anna Jay has the best seat in the house, no pun intended. That's pretty funny. She is a beautiful woman, and hopefully she can get more of a chance to shine because she's had less than 10 matches in her career. C4 and modified sharpshooter and gets a tap out. Cool. Spears wins, and he's in the same position he was before, which is mid card at best. Okay, we then get recaps of Archer murdering Stunt, and Stunt sounds like he's maybe 12 years old. I mean, he looks like he's 12, he sounds like he's 12. Why is he allowed to be in the ring? Oh, we have Stunt versus Brody Lee, a match designed to specifically piss me off. I don't like Stunt. I don't hate him as a person. I don't like the fact that he's in the ring. He's an embarrassment to watch in the ring. And Brody Lee, I've given up on Brody Lee. I wish him nothing but the best as well. I hope he's happy with this gimmick, but the Dark Order gimmick is absolute shit. And this match, it was great to see Stunt get tossed around, but Archer did it better. So Well, whatever. Brody Lee got the victory. Cool, whatever. Keep Stunt out of the fucking ring. Moxley package. He talks about winning the title in front of a bunch of fans and everything and high-fiving a whole bunch of people, and then he suddenly wasn't able to do that, and we will all be back together. He mentions his wife, not by name, but he mentions his wife and says, talks about some stuff, support your local business, order takeout, and don't forget to call your grandmother, he says. Next week, we get MJF back on a live Dynamite, Kazarian versus Moxley. That's going to be pretty good. If they give that at least 10 to 12 minutes, that's going to be very good. And Omega and Matt Hardy versus Les Sex Gods. Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Les Sex Gods. They make that shirt. That's going to sell like crazy. And we then get Dustin with Brandy because Brandy has to find a way to get on the fucking show again. Nepotism Rhodes. Why was she not selling her injuries from earlier? Like, this was not that much further. If she's somebody that literally was selling them just a bit before, I'm not saying she needs to come out in a body cast, but she took a pretty hard shot. At least sell them now. She can't do that. Lance Archer took on Dustin, and this is good. We get talking about hair like an evil turban and punch Pineapple Pete in the face. Archer also channeling Minoru Suzuki by punching a guy out that just happens to be wandering around the entranceway. That was pretty funny. This is good stuff, though. Dustin got hit with a chair, busted open. They told a story of Dustin trying to come back, but Archer just being too much for him. Crossroads by Dustin. Archer kicked out like at 1. There was a chokeslam for 2, a rope walk, and a moonsault. Archer is in his early 40s and still doing it, and has been this agile for his entire career. I know he had a back injury a number of years ago, but he is just so goddamn good. I mean, he was great in Impact. He was very underutilized in WWE, even though he was able to show some stuff, and he was great in New Japan for a number of years. And eventually, chokeslam into a crucifix. I thought Dustin was going to get the victory. Nope, he did not. QT Marshall comes out with a towel. Cody takes the towel away from him. Looks like he's going to toss the towel in. Dustin takes the towel from him. And then Archer has taken the turnbuckle off by this point and has hit Dustin's head into the turnbuckle. And then Dustin's like laying out. Then they do the towel spot and everything. And Dustin was pretty much out of it. But then because they wouldn't throw in the towel, the EBD claw, everybody dies claw, hits him into the mat and like a few times. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Archer gets the victory. I don't know if Dustin's going to retire, if that was just a stipulation for the Kip Sabian match. I would say don't retire, unless he really wants to. Don't retire until he's in front of fans. I think Dustin owes that much to himself, but it is his career, it is his life. But they didn't mention anything about his retirement, so I think he might be off a little bit to sell these injuries, but it is what it is. Show wasn't bad. Book ended by 2 good tournament matches, but yeah, there were a couple things I didn't like. But let me know what you guys thought. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.